Welcome, 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 welcome one, welcome all. This is Win Win Life, the Win Win Life, and you are tuned into Michelle L. Forbes. Now that was done the back way. I am Michelle L. Forbes. Yes, I am. And you are tuned into the Win Win Life talk show and podcast. Welcome. Today we have a dear sister, a dear friend, and a woman of great experience, wealth of background, a woman that we will be sitting down and just allowing her to share her story and share what God would have placed on her heart to share today. As we would have been talking back studio just before we went live. As you are tuned in, please go right ahead and share with us. Hi, hello, interact with Mary Shekels as I bring her on shortly. And give your feedback, give your views, give your kudos, give your good afternoons. And also share the video with your family, your friends, your loved ones, your co-workers, your neighbors, and on and on and on. Today I'd like to welcome on stage and in studio with us Mary Shekels. Welcome,
Hello.
Mary, to the Win
Thank
Win
you.
Live. It's a pleasure to have you here this afternoon. And we're just going to go right into it. One of the things that I wanted to, as we were praying backstage, what I would love for you to do is to jump on what we were talking about just before we hit the live button, which is new beginning, and then sharing on just for a minute on the new beginning from what and to where you are present.
Yeah, I was talking about the new beginning yesterday. I did a Facebook Live video on the new beginning because see, what we was talking about was God will show you your end result. That's your purpose. Now, in order to get to the end result, you have a journey to go through, and that journey will get you to the other side. But how are you going to get to the other side? I get to the end. That means you have to become a willing participant. You have to become willing. But for an example, I've used to use as a football team. Let's say you have two football teams. You have an offense, you got a defense. This defense here is going to try to stop this offense from getting to the other side to make a touchdown. So when you're throwing the ball and your men are running down, you got offenses here, I mean, defense here that's going to run all over. And so you got the anxiety, you got drugs, you got depression, you got mental health, you got all this breakdown that's gonna try to stop you. It's gonna stop you. But see,
Mhm.
we have organizations out there, we have counselors, and we have physical therapists out there. All these people out here that will help you to get to the other end. Just like yourself, you're a life coach, and there's people that could come to you and say, "Hey, if you do this and do that, you're gonna break through. When you break through this offense thing, and get to the other side. You're gonna dance. You're gonna say, "Yeah." See how the football players do it? Kick
Mhm.
up their little legs, like, "Hey,
Yep.
I
Yep.
got this."
Yep.
That's how you're gonna feel when you break through to the other end. I
Wow.
like that.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. And
But you
new
have
beginnings. Yes, go
Yes,
ahead, Mary.
you have to be a willing participant. You're gonna have to let go of whatever is you're stuck in. You're gonna have to let go of whatever your mind is trying to hold you on to. You're gonna have to say, "Hey, I know who I am today. I know who I am. I gotta let this go. I gotta quit holding on. I'm gonna have to become a willing participant to overcome." You're gonna
Yes.
have to want it. You're gonna have to want it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the punchline right there. Willing participant. You
Right.
have to
You have.
decide that you're going to
Yes.
be the willing participant
Mhm.
in
You are.
bringing about the new beginning. Because God can
Right.
declare it. God can say, Mary, Michelle, it's time for a new beginning. But
Oh
it's a
yeah.
partnership.
A
I,
partnership.
yes, Mary, have to say, yes, God, I'm willing to be the willing participant to get it done,
Yeah.
to get it on. Yep.
Mhm. But you got to realize too, a lot of people have to put this in their mindset as well.
Yes.
The choices that you make, faith is a choice. You're going to have faith or not. That's a choice. Are you going to choose faith?
Hmm.
Trust. That's a choice. Are you going to trust them? Are you just going to say, ugh? Then also have a belief. Belief is a choice. You got to make these choices because God is not going to take your choices away from you. He's not going to decide for you. He's going to say he's leaving it up to you. So that's your willingness,
Yes.
your willingness
Yes.
to be an overcomer or an overachiever. That's up to you.
Yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
It's up
Absolutely.
to you.
Mary, I want for you to imagine I am younger Mary and you're here in front of younger Mary as older Mary. And I would like for you to give, let's say, 1 to 3 advice as to what would you say to younger Mary, looking back with the wisdom and the knowledge that you now have, with the experiences that you would have gone
Okay.
through. What would you say to younger Mary?
Mm. Wow, that's a nice question. That's a great question
Thank you.
because it also goes back to a letter that I have written to myself like 5 years from now when I did my own reflecting. So what I would tell myself before she even get off the boat or before she even walk down that thing, that the person that you're walking with or the person that you're holding hands with or the man or the other woman that you feel like they just won my heart. So sometimes by pleasing these individuals, you're gonna lose yourself. And so that's why I lost myself. I became what this individual wanted me to be instead of being who God wanted me to be. So I called it people pleasing. I fell into a package of people pleasing. And so I figured I was headstrong. I said I feel like I can feel like I'm a dead. I can a little bit stubborn if I wanted to be, but the whole point is when I thought that I thought that I cared, I thought that I wanted to do, and then plus you just want to fit in. You want to fit in with your friends. They doing this, they doing that. And so when I picked up that first drug, mm, that joint, uh, I smoked that first. I smoked that uh, cocaine or whatever. It made me think, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? To see all of that. But then when I got into it a while, it was like that was all I knew just to be with this person. Not because of love or I care about, it's because I knew this was my next house gonna come. But all this took years to accumulate through. It did a switch. Okay, what I thought I was in love, I was going to be with him, but he always say, "Well, here, let's try this and let's do this and let's do this." So Okay, being a willing person, I did all of that just to be a people pleaser. But as time went on in that relationship, the love I thought I had for this individual had died off. And the reason why I was going to stay with this person is just to get high again. So I
Mm,
was chasing. I got hooked up in drugs, people pleasing, or trying to fit in, or trying to hold on to something that God is telling me to let go of.
mm,
So that I would tell her that person that you thought that you was in love with, or the person that you thought you want to connect with, or the crowd that you wanted to get into, they're
mhm,
not what they're portraying themselves to be. There's a outside. There is an influence there somewhere.
mm.
Okay. And so now as I was getting older and I could see that now, I mean, believe me, I really can't see that now that the path that I was going down
Yes.
was the wrong path. I mean, really, because everybody that smiles in your face is not your friend. And I found that out the hard way too.
Everybody
See,
that's what? Can you repeat
I,
that? Everybody that's
I'll
what?
tell you, everybody that smiles in your face is not your friend.
Okay.
Everybody that smiles is not your friend. But even when you put on the armor of God, you always know you got on the breastplate of righteousness. It's the front, but your back is empty. There's nothing back there. So God is back there. He's holding your back.
Mm,
But then before you had the armor on, you were just doing, but your back was still empty. So you had people back there. They were like, yeah, she's this, and yeah, she's that, but like stabbing you at the same time. They take your weakness and share it with others. I said, man, this person's not about this or this person's not about that. We can't control. Let's see what I'm saying. So I end up doing some bidding for people that I know that was not worthy, even though I knew it was wrong, but I still wanted to do it anyway to stay connected to
mm,
those people,
mm, mm.
to stay in place with those people. But when I did wake up, I mean, it was years. I mean, I'm like 20 years clean now, if not more, but I don't not normally keep count of it no more because it's just like doesn't bother me, so it's gone. Because God, once God cures you, you're cured, so that's it. But
Yep.
the whole thing is Satan is not going to let an individual go easily. Some people say they get out of easy, some say they don't, but you're not going to because for the fact of it is when I decided to walk away completely where I was married and my husband was into it, so I was still trying to please him too. And it's a lot, you know. And so when I walked away, I did not. I got sick. This is what I give God glory for. Um,
For
when I
getting
walked,
sick?
go ahead.
For getting sick?
Yeah, I never diagnosed with nothing that they even said that I had. And I've been going to primary care doctors. I've called one of the specialists. What it was is I ended up with
Mm-hmm.
an aneurysm that the back of my brain swelled,
Yes. Yes.
the blood vessel in my brain burst, but the blood did not go to the side. It fell to the left side into the pocket, put in down here.
Mm-hmm.
They cut my forehead. They cut my skull from my forehead to the base of my neck, pull my skull open with faucets and put it in there, and they try to wipe up blood. I had a heart attack on the operating table, so some kind of weight I flatlined, and I guess they brought me back. And so they had took a section of my brain out, which is the left side here. My daughter and them kept saying a portion. But when I went to the primary care doctor, he did a CT scan. I said, "What is all this white spot right there?" He said, "That's what they took a portion of your brain out." I said, "Oh wow, that's a lot. That's not a portion. That was a section." But then when I after the heart attack, and I still had like stitches and staples in my head. They put me into the room. I think it must have been on the Wednesday because that Thursday I had a stroke, and this Saturday I had another stroke. And when they placed me into a
This is
room,
within 1 week, right?
1 week,
Oh,
all this is in 1 week, 1 week. I went into the hospital on November the 21st, 2013, and I came out of the hospital December the 9th, 2013. Just a week.
so within the week you had two strokes.
And a heart attack. I had a heart attack first.
Okay.
Well, I can say I had an aneurysm first. The aneurysm first.
Yeah.
Aneurysm first. The
Yes.
section of the brain cut out. Heart
Yeah.
attack, two strokes, and I'm laying in a hospital. And ooh, this is the best part of the whole thing to me, because while laying in the bed, my daughter said she was at the foot of my bed, and then she said, "Mom," she said, "Why?" She said there was so much black spirit that was coming up out of my body. And I said, "What you mean?" She said, "Mama, these was black spirits." So I was on the threshing floor of God. I was being purged by God. He was cutting out everything that was not from Him. This is a true story. Everything that was not from Him, of Him, was cut out. And she said, "Mama, Mama, Mama." But she said I had words coming out of my mouth that she never heard me say before. And just to break the humor when she was telling me, I said, "Well, did my head go around like this?" She said, "No, it did." She said, "No." But she said, "Mama, even the spirits that was coming out of my body," she said one of it turned around and was coming to her, and she just put her head down and started calling on Jesus, 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 Jesus. And she said the spirit turned around and went through the bathroom window. So I
Mm,
said, "What?" I said, "For real?" She said, "Mama, you wouldn't." She said, "There was things coming out of you and out of my mouth." She said, "I was speaking words that she has never heard before." Uh,
mm,
so, so God got me. God purged me. And so, really, basically, I don't understand what people say when they walk away completely, going back to God, and with no play. I mean, what some do, some does, but God had a plan for my life, so He wanted me clean from the top of my head to the soles of my feet. So He took
mm,
out everything,
mm,
everything that was not of Him. He removed from me.
mhm,
I mean,
mhm.
there's people walking around here may still have it, have whatever they was doing or whatever, but I don't have mine in me anymore. I mean, I
Yes.
may get upset, but I just like turn the other cheek. Or either I walk away.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong. There's people that push my buttons that I want to just take them and choke them sometimes. But no, I don't do that. I just walk away. So
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's what I do. I walk now. I walk away.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I see now why you said you thank God for getting sick, because
Yeah.
through that sickness you were delivered.
Yes.
Wow. And a new beginning
And the new
came
beginning.
into effect for you.
Yeah.
The same new beginning that we mentioned when we just started.
Right. hmm
Wow.
The new beginning. So now I'm in the process now of becoming one of many of God's speakers. But my
Mm,
message is for people who are confused of the lost person, drug addicts, and everything. Even some Christians, because there's Christians that sit excuse me, inside the inside of a building, rather, and they sit there, play phone, they write notes, and they do things, but their attention span is not on what God has to say. Was not what the preacher's saying, speaking about. Some of them today, when I went to church today, if you asked some of them what the man was talking about, they wouldn't even know,
mm,
because what it was still talking about a new beginning. It was still a new beginning, because it was like this. Because when you remember when Jesus Christ was walking into a city called Slain Cane or whatever, and there was a funeral coming out with the boy on it and this mother behind him crying, and
mhm,
Jesus Christ stopped the funeral and
mm,
touched the casket and said, "Arise," to the little man, and the boy got woke, sit up in it. Everybody was amazed. But see, the whole thing is, it's like when Adam and Eve, God put them out of the garden. So they was coming out. So your new beginning started when Jesus Christ went in the garden.
Mm.
So when he went in the garden and he cried, I mean, he started hollering about Lord, Lord. I mean, he actually prayed for this cup to pass from him. But the
Yeah.
whole point, Adam and Eve came out of the garden.
And he
He
went.
went in the garden. So
Yeah.
when Jesus Christ was going through this city, he was on his way into the city and the feeling was coming out the city. So there we
Yeah.
go. The old stuff going out and the beginning coming in.
Yes.
So that's
I'd like to continue on with that theme, new beginning, and go back to your story where you got a brain aneurysm while the doctors were operating on you from the top go straight back. Your
mhm,
skull was opened, your head was opened, and they're doing their thing. You had an heart attack. Then after that, within the week, you had two strokes. And your
mhm,
daughter would have shared with you how she saw these black spirits just coming out
right.
of you, coming out of you while you were going through that healing process. Even after all of that, people, the message, one of the key message that came from Mary, as she shared earlier, was being a willing participant, deciding that you're going to
Yeah.
be a willing participant. Even after all of that, she
After
could
all
have
of that.
decided, well, God, I'm not ready to leave this life as yet. I'm going to go
Right.
back. But she
Mhm,
had to decide, I'm going to be a willing participant. God has started something here, and I
mhm,
want to continue and finish.
right.
What is he saying to you where you're at today? What is he asking you to arise and become a willing participant in the new beginning that he wants for you?
Yeah, I actually heard the voice of God upstairs where I'm at, and he asked me to increase his kingdom.
Mm,
So he wanted me to become a kingdom builder. So a kingdom builder, I said, well, I said, first of all, I told him, I said, Lord, I did not know how to do this. I don't
yes.
know how to increase your kingdom. How am I going to increase your kingdom? You got plenty of pastors out here. You got evangelists out here, missionaries out here. But
Yeah.
he said that he just said, increase his kingdom. I mean,
Yes.
I cried. I really did cry because I did not know how to do that. And basically, that's where my first book comes from. It's the
Yes.
name of that book is I got it. It's in the
Please
other room.
do. Please do.
Called
Sure.
called from Christianity to discipleship.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that book, when I read it, it tells you what it really basically it tells you what God is looking, what type of person or people God is looking for. It tells you that I mean they say everybody can be a disciple. That's true. Everybody can be a disciple. But like I said, you have three, you got your willingness right there. You got faith, you got trust, and you got belief. Those three, whether you know it or not, are very, very strong because they're about choice. These are
Yes. Yes.
your choice. Yeah.
Yes. It's not a
Mhm.
forced thing.
Not a
It's,
force. No, it's a choice.
yep.
You have to choose it. And when you choose it, you got to be sincere in your choosing. You
Yeah.
got to be sincere. God has to. He doesn't listen to up here. He doesn't do anything up here. He goes to the heart. But you
Mm,
got to understand what a man thinketh, so is he.
so is. Yep.
So is he. Yeah. So you got to think that. And I like that because of the fact that it is when my daughter was telling me all this black stuff was flying out of me and I was being purged, like you know how God put you on the threshing floor. And I felt like you know how I was on the threshing floor. Do you remember how you would tear they would cut grass, your moms would cut grass years ago, and they'd take the weed up out of the flower beds or whatever, they cut it out or pick it up by hand. Well,
Yes.
that's what God said. That's what He means when you go on the threshing floor. He's separating the tare from the wheat. He's
Mm,
separating the tare from the grain. So the tare is nothing but the weeds that grow
mm,
in, and
mhm,
what's left standing is food, fruit,
mhm.
meat to eat, food. So the rest is gone. And that's what he did to me. He cut out all the tear. He cut out, I mean, really, basically, he took everything out of me that was not of him. And I,
Yes.
I mean, my daughter said she was scared. My daughter's now, she said she was so scared that she just, all thing she did was cover her head up, lay it down, so calling on Jesus.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And right to
Yeah.
this day, I still cannot see her at the foot of my bed. At right up today, I cannot see my pastors or the church members or the people that I used to have Bible study with. I cannot see them at the hospital neither. Only person I can see today is my son, because my son took me when I was released from the hospital. Well, I wasn't really, doctors didn't really release me. My son just said, hey, he has to go back to work, so his mama got to go.
Okay.
So they flew me from California, LA, California, all the way to Baltimore, Maryland on the
Yes.
plane nonstop. So they just
Yes.
put me to sleep. So they just wanted me to sleep the whole six hours in the plane because they
Mm.
was of the air pressure in
Yes.
the plane. Yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Yes. Mary, what have been some of the accomplishments that you have attained in life? Um,
Oh,
I remember when we were talking just before we started, you
mhm.
were sharing about some stuff that you would have studied, and I was
Oh,
asking,
wow.
where did you get time to do
We
all
used
of
to do that. Now we gotta do some reflecting.
that?
That's
Yes.
some reflecting.
And then
Okay.
to close it out, I want you to share on your two books and what can you shared on the discipleship. I wanted to share for the
Mhm.
other one. What can persons expect when they buy and read from that book? How will it impact their lives? Go ahead
It would
with
help,
the
how would help their lives. I'm going to tell you this way. My book, I wrote the first book called From Christianity to Discipleship. And
mm-hmm.
my second book is Finding Yourself by Renewing Your Mind, which is
Yes.
from Romans chapter 12, verse 2.
Yes.
After I really wrote the book and I thought about it, and I think I said, well, you know what, Lord? These people can't be a disciple until they know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, this book here, Finding Yourself by Renewing Your Mind, should have came
Before.
before
Mm.
Call for Christianity to Discipleship. So that took me back when I said that to God. He said, you remember when I crossed my hands for Joseph's child? He said he put the youngest one, what's his name? Manassas first,
Mm-hmm.
and then he put Ephraim second.
Yes.
That's the crossing of the hand. And so if you look at it, like if you really do look at with the crossing of the hand, you see what?
The
A cross.
cross. Yes. Yes,
So
ma'am.
that's so so that's what he was saying. So when I looked at patting yourself by renewing your mind, you don't know who you are. If you would just want to chase the drugs, you know what? The one finding yourself by renewing your mind, my story, my intentionally transparency is in that book
Mm.
to tell you how I did what I did and why I did what I did and
Mm-hmm.
how I got over. And the only way I really got over that all of that is I had to stay in my bed with my husband laying next to me and I cried out. I gave Jeremiah 29:11 back to God. I said, you told me you had a plan for me. And I
Yeah.
know this was not your plan because
Yes.
right now I said, I cried so hard. And the next thing I knew, in the darkness of my own bedroom, there appeared this silhouette, this figure, this white figure of whiteness,
Mm-hmm.
of pure whiteness. And he had his hands held out like to come on home. I laid in my bed and I still cried. I cried because I said, look, I am rescued. I have been found, even though I was never lost, because God knew where I was. I didn't know where I was.
That's it. That's it there.
So
Yeah.
he came to me and I laid in the bed and I cried. I have not turned back since. I
Wow.
mean, I've really been moving. And so actually the first book, starting calling from Christian to discipleship. And
Mhm.
when I wrote that book first, and I got to observing all these different things that went on in churches and outside of churches. So God is really actually calling you, whether you know it or not. He's calling people from the lost world. He's calling people that's inside his own church home. You have the church
Mhm.
because there are people there that's not really listening. That's why he said in the book of Gospels that some will receive the word, but it's gonna fall through the cracks on the sidewalk. Some will get the word, but it's gonna be where the birds will come by and pick it up and eat it. And then some will get the word where it's gonna fall on good ground.
Mhm.
But are you good ground?
Mm.
Are you a crack in the sidewalk?
Mm.
Are you just led in a thorn where the birds can
Thought-provoking
get it?
questions.
Yeah.
Thought-provoking questions.
Mm.
Thought-provoking questions. Mary, I am so sad to say our time has come to an end, but I would like to right here give you an invite for midweek. We're going to be starting to have midweek guests because
Thank
I
you.
really would like for you to share on some of the attainments that you would have attained in life and how do you view them in view of God and what He's called you to do compared to all that you have attained. So I'm
Oh
inviting
my,
you
yeah,
here.
honey, there's so much. God has been a big portion in my life. I mean, really, if you don't believe in miracles, then you do not believe in God.
God,
Because
yes,
that's all He has in my life is miracles. That's all I say is miracles.
yes, yes, yes.
You
So,
got to
guys,
you got to believe. But
family,
then I'm gonna leave this with this one word. I'm gonna leave with
go
three
ahead.
words.
Go ahead.
You got to have your choices. Got to be faith. Make a choice to trust and make a choice to believe. Because if you don't make those three positive truths in your mind and your body, you will not get anywhere.
Yeah,
You got to have that trust because it's your choice. You
yeah.
choose and you choose wisely. That's
It's a
where
choice.
wisdom come in at, and that's where the book of Proverbs come in at.
Yeah,
Your
it's
choice.
a choice. It's a
Yeah,
choice.
choice.
With that, we're going to wrap it up today. And Mary, if your schedule allows for it, within this week, we want to connect again and let it happen, or the following week. But I will be in touch with you.
Thank
People,
you.
it's a pleasure. Yes, Mary, it's a pleasure.
I'm
It's a
so glad you invite me. Thank you.
You
So,
are welcome, Mary. Just before we go, can you just share with the folks how can they get in touch with you and how can they get your books if they so desire to?
okay. In order to get my books, you can go to my website. My website is Mary, Mary. My name is right there, MaryShekelsJones.com. You can get to my website. You can purchase my book there as well. You can also follow me on Facebook, which is Mary Shekels, and you can email me at Mary Shekels. Everything is Mary
That's
Shekels,
nice.
and
That's right.
but you know what? You can also get like videos. Listen to my videos on YouTube. It's YouTube. My channel is bit.ly/3YEOG small letters, capital letter. WQ. That's it.
Awesome. 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 And Mary's contact details will be on YouTube below the video and on
Nope,
Facebook.
it's not YouTube. It's gonna be on my personal page, Mary Shekels personal page. And if you go to the bottom of it, everything is right there at the bottom.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. God bless you, folks. It's been a pleasure. We are going to close it out in just a few minutes, seconds.
Okay.
So, God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye.